guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, gonna go over a story titled, Am I the A-hole for leaving a couple's trip in the middle of the night and ruining the vibe? And a big shout out to Ash for sending me this story. And guys, this is about a guy, he's 26 years old, and he's been with his girlfriend for 2 years. She's also 26, so mid-20s. I'm sure he's thinking about the future with her and all. And long story short, she decided to throw him a surprise birthday party weekend getaway with a bunch of friends for his birthday. And at the party, when there was a lot of drinking going on, they were playing some games. And during these types of games with couples and all that, it got revealed, when she's drunk, that essentially she's with him because he was safe. And that he would never cheat on her and never leave her and all that. Translation, admitting that she completely settled for him. The classic situation where the nice guy finally gets the girl only because she's done riding the carousel bad boys and she settled for him. And as you can imagine, he was embarrassed, he felt like a fool, didn't take it well, and eventually left. Okay? He realized it wasn't going to go well if he was there that whole weekend because obviously he had issues with her. His gut was telling him something wrong, and he took off. And let's just say she didn't take it very well. In fact, she freaked the hell out at him for a lot of reasons. And he's wondering, was he in the wrong for doing this? Was he in the wrong for feeling that way, walking away from her, questioning, how, the whole thing, the big picture with her, all that. And I'm doing this, guys, as a perfect example to show you, again, because I do a lot of these videos, how women settle. They'll ride the carousel and have all the bad boys for a while, or they'll try to get the top 1% of the guys they hope they can get, and when they realize those guys don't settle, or they can't get those guys anymore, they then settle for the nice guy, the type of guy they wouldn't give the time of day of when they were younger. Essentially, the safe guy, the guy they know will never cheat on her, never leave her, because in his mind, he got a prize. And these guys always make the mistake thinking they won, but they didn't. Because believe me, she's not going to treat that guy the same as the bad boy or high value guy she's trying to get. She'll never look at him the same, and she most certainly will not give him the same bedroom action. And this is an example why you guys got to be careful about it, but they do this all the time. And also how important it is, guys, to listen to your gut. To always listen to your gut in situations. If your gut tells you something's wrong or doesn't feel right in a situation or scenario or with your girlfriend or whatever, you need to listen to it and trust it. And this guy did initially, but now he's questioning because all these people are saying he's in the wrong. And so a lot of important lessons here, guys. And also I want to point out, as much as guys don't want to be settled for, guess what? Women don't want to be second choice or second best or settled either. So keep that in mind as I go through this story. So I'm going to go through this, and also at the end, the best part are all the comments. Because as you can imagine, this guy is completely torn apart in the comment section by all the readers who are, guess what? Majority women. You wouldn't believe it. And I'm going to connect a link to this story so you guys can read it. So I'm going to go through this and share my opinion on this. So it starts off, he says, last weekend was my 26th birthday. Me and my girlfriend of 2 years, Kenzie, a 26-year-old female, had plans to get dinner. She came to pick me up from work, and her car was packed, and my best friend and his wife were in the back seat. To my surprise, she planned a whole weekend away to my favorite lake, rented a cool house on the water, and invited all our friends. Her sister, husband, my friends, their significant others, and a few other Kenzie's friends all arrived Thursday night. We met through my childhood best friend, Grace, 26-year-old female. Grace and Kenzie were college friends, and I never thought I had a chance with her. Kenzie is beautiful, and while I'm not ugly, I've always felt like we were in the same league. No idea how I got her, and I still don't. So you can see here, this guy thinks he got himself a prize. Okay? He's thinking she was out of my league. Wow. First of all, no guy should go around with the idea that a woman or his woman is out of his league, because that already he's treating her special, putting her on a pedestal. And how are those guys treated? We all know this. He says Thursday night went very well. Friday we swam and hung out at the house most of the day. We started drinking and playing games at night. Kenzie's sister broke out this couples game. Basically, you pick one person in the relationship that fits the description, or it has prompts to engage in debates between couples. Kenzie was pretty drunk by now because she's a lightweight and was drinking most of the night. So, once alcohol gets involved, that's when the truth starts coming out. And remember that, for people to think that, whatever he or she said when they were drinking didn't mean it. It was fun until a question of what originally attracted you to your significant other. Kenzie blurted out he was safe, and I knew he wouldn't cheat on me or leave me. I looked at her with a face that was like, huh? She then says, yeah, you seem nice enough, and after my abusive ex, I wanted a safer option. There you go. How many have ridden the carousel, been with the bad boy, got burned enough times, they're like, you know what, it's not going to work, so I'm going to choose the white knight nice guy. The guy I never would have given the time of day before because, you know what, he's not going to cheat on me, and I can get that house in the suburbs with him, marry him, all that, and he'll treat me like I'm the queen. But secretly, I will always lust after the bad boys. It continues. Things got really awkward, and her sister quickly read a different card. I was really embarrassed and flustered, so I said I had to pee and walked outside. I called Grace to tell her what happened. She was working and couldn't come, and she got upset. I told her I wanted to leave. She said I didn't need to take that, and she'd be there in the morning to get me. The night died down, and Kenzie tried talking to me in front of everyone, but I told her we'd talk about it another time. I decided to pack my bags and sleep on the couch. And before anyone woke up, I left. I texted Kenzie and told her that I didn't want to fight about what happened and ruin everyone's trip. So I was going home for the weekend, and we could talk whenever she got home. In other words, he took off. Now, he trusted his gut. His gut told him something wasn't right, okay? No guy, like I said before, wants to think or know that his girl, who he's in love with, chose him only because he was the safe option, or pretty much was the nice guy. He was not the guy she'd normally choose. And guess what? Newsflash, no woman ever wants to think that she was the guy's second choice or who he settled for. But usually the situation works, it's always the gals that settle for the guys, because guys, there's more nice guy types than nice girl types, and the guys usually will take any girl they can get or a girl that's prettier than what they're used to, right? But we all know women are super competitive with each other, and they knew that their guy settled for her because she wasn't what he really wanted, would be pretty pissed. So keep that in mind, this whole situation here. But he left. Okay? And you can't blame him at all. He was embarrassed. Now, the only issue I could take with this is obviously he left a bunch of friends and everything there. So I could kind of get that. And some people have made, you'll see soon, they're complaining about her throwing the big party and all that and shows she obviously cares and loves him. Yeah, it was very nice of her, sure. But at the core of it, she's 26, remember. And what happens when women are in their mid-20s or about that age? They're ready. They're thinking about a wedding. So of course she's going to do things for him because she obviously likes the dude a lot. But there was she wasn't drawn to him like the rest of the guys, and no guy wants to have that. And I tell you guys all the time, for your relationship guys, don't go for the gals to settle for you. You got to pay attention to that, okay? She blew up my phone all Saturday, and as did a few of my friends. I decided to go golfing and just turn my phone off. I just didn't want to talk to anyone. When Kenzie showed up at my place Sunday, she was fuming, saying that me leaving early ruined the whole trip. It was all anyone could talk about, and the whole vibe fell off because the birthday boy was gone. That she felt like a piece of crap, and I didn't give her a chance to explain. And she hardly even remembers what she said to begin with. She rented a boat, I love boating, and felt like I disrespected her efforts, money, to put together the trip. I told her that I didn't feel like arguing, so I went home to avoid the drama. Some said that I was an a-hole move just to bail, and I should have stayed because she did put the whole effort into the whole thing. Am I the a-hole? I say you're not the a-hole at all for leaving her. Now, I would have said something to the friends, something like that, but because, the friends came there for him. But at the end of the day, it boils down to this. His gut told him something isn't right here. It felt wrong. And how many times have I done story, guys, where men didn't listen to their gut and they married that girl anyway, or things are off, but he turned a blind eye, and guess what? He shouldn't have done that. His gut was telling him this isn't right. So if he's getting serious with this girl as a relationship guy, he shouldn't be with a girl that openly admits that she's settled. So I don't blame him in the least for walking. He should have said something to his friends, left a note for them, something like that, and it was a different situation, but in terms of her, yeah. And by the way, notice, because I always tell you how powerful is walking away. When a woman is more into you than you're into her, a guy walks away, she'll get on her best behavior. She'll submit. When she feels like she is the leverage in the relationship, a guy walks away and she'll yell and scream like she did right here. So her perception of this guy is he's the nice guy. He's never going to leave me. He's not going to pull anything. And if he does, I can yell at him and get him to cave and have his tail between his legs. So if I were him, I would seriously consider ending the whole thing as if it's not over already. I mean, because you don't want to be with somebody that just settles for you. And again, like I made the point earlier, no woman ever would want to be with a guy that would just settle for her. She'd freak the hell out, and you all know it. So, now the fun part, guys. As I said before, I'm going to go over some comments here. And as you can imagine, this guy was completely torn apart in the comment section because the majority of the comments are from women. And of course, and you'll see a pattern here. I'm going to connect the link so you guys can all read it, of their reasoning behind this, because they either are doing it out of self-interest, or the people that call this guy the a-hole don't get it. They don't understand why her settling is a bad thing. So the first comment it says, "You are the a-hole. This seems like a wild overreaction. She had an abusive ex and thought you were a good guy who would treat her well and value her. What's the problem? You're waiting to hear that she discovered that you're the 2020s version of Fabio. She settled. That's why. She was dating," he said the ex was abusive. Translation, bad boy. So she settled for the nice guy. This is not the type of guy she would normally go for until she realized, I'm running out of options. Bad boys are going to settle down and get the house in the suburbs. The problem is that no guy wants to be settled for. He says, so you made a huge scene, likely turned her friends against you, which can do some real long-term damage, and they were probably talking the whole week about actually she was wrong about her first impression, and you're actually a shitty guy. I'm not saying that you are, but I bet they were. This was from a woman. Now, guess what? I read the story. He didn't make a big scene. There was no big scene. In fact, he left so there wouldn't be a big scene. So I don't know what she's talking about there. Now we have a guy agrees with them. Guy says this. Most of the commenters are trying to make it out like she meant this as a compliment. Being told you are a safe choice isn't a compliment. It means that you should be grateful that she chose to be with you and will spend the rest of her life being grateful and dare not stray. Not the a-hole. But I don't blame the OP for leaving. Not only did she confirm his worst fears, she did it in front of all his friends, and I'm sure he's mortified. Exactly. Saying that you were the safe option isn't a compliment, it's an insult. And no guy, especially a guy that has any value, wants that. Exactly. And he felt embarrassed. Next one. This is from someone saying he is the a-hole. Bro, you're the a-hole. It's not bad to be a safe option, but she didn't call you ugly or boring. She said you were safe. Hot damn, dude. I hope my wife and kids find me to be safe, and look at how much work she put into your weekend. You don't deserve to be with her. See? Clueless guy. He says it doesn't mean that you're boring. No, that means you were boring. That's the whole point. A boring guy that was easy, that she could settle for and wouldn't have to worry about anything. Because the exciting guys turn out to be not good relationship material. Here's another one. Not the a-hole. She basically said that after being rode hard and out away, as Grandma would say, she was looking for easier pastures. This is a hurtful thing that she said, and I probably would have left. No one wants to be someone's second choice or their safe option. You deserve someone who wants you with the same level of passion you want them. Exactly. Problem is, he's more into her than she is into him. Okay, you can tell the way he was describing her, right? And that's a problem. Should be the opposite. I want guys to build themselves up to the point where they see themselves as the prize. I mean, they're not walking around with giant egos, but they don't ever feel in relationships, if they do that, oh, I lucked out getting her, because you know where the problems arise when the guy has that mentality. Another one, you are the a-hole. She was drunk. Thought of a little embarrassing reason why you started a date and you initially took unreasonable offense. It's clear as day that the girl is madly in love with you, otherwise she would have gone through all the trouble of organizing the trip. Drunk. When people say things when they're drinking, that's usually what they really think or feel. Okay, unless this person is like 5 years old and doesn't have any life experience. And the whole thing about she's madly in love with you, no, she's not. No woman is madly in love with a guy they settle for, or the typical nice guy. They may love things about them. They may love him as a friend, but madly in love with him? No. Only the bad boys who they have to chase after and chase their validation do they fall in love with. And I say that I say that loosely because women love different how men love. Another one says here, you're the a-hole. Oh, excuse me. Another one says, not the a-hole. You told her you did want to talk about it, and she pushed the issue, and you left. Simple fact, when hurt and angry, the best reaction is to walk away. All the people saying that you're the a-hole would absolutely be singing a different tune if the genders were reversed. Right. Number one, he did walk away because he didn't want to create a big scene. Okay. And he knew he was upset. And number two, yeah, if the situation was reversed and she was writing the story and she left, nobody would have a problem with this, and we all know it. Now another one, you are the a-hole. So when your girlfriend was terribly drunk, she said check notes that she got with you because you seemed like a good person who'd be kind to her, that she'd be safe with that, and that she could trust you. Good Lord, how vile. Gosh, what other aspects of your personality did she compliment? You poor dear. And then you dumped what sounds like a fairly extravagant and expensive trip that must have taken a hell of a lot of planning, and went home. What an incredibly mean thing to do. I don't even understand your logic here at all. See, most people are going to get his reasons here. Honestly, you may well have tanked your relationship, not to mention a number of your friendships. You showed a very ugly side to your personality. If you want to salvage this, you're going to have to go on a hell of a groveling apology tour, and it's going to have to end with an even bigger gesture than your girlfriend's. Bullshit. Fat chance on that. She's the one that admitted, I settled for you. You were safe. You're boring. She didn't say you were boring, but we all know what nice guy, safe guy means. Groveling trip? Get the fuck out of here. Groveling will only make her see him as less. Not the other way around. But no, this guy, in my opinion, if this was me, I'd be done. There'd be no future here, knowing that the girl settled from hell with that. And the last one says, I got to give the not the a-hole on this one. It clearly hurt you, and you didn't want to ruin the rest of the trip by staying because it would have caused more drama by staying than hurt. Exactly. Clearly you do have some insecurities here, and your girlfriend said something that stung. I think it was an overreaction on your part, but if my spouse said something similar, I wouldn't have been able to stay either. Knowing if I'm not a first choice is a self-esteem killer, and I can see how it hurt you in the moment. I really hope that you're able to see your worth, whether it's with your girlfriend or not. I do suggest some counseling to improve your self-esteem and reinforce your own boundaries of what's acceptable and what's not. Best of luck to you. So guys, you can see here mixed reactions. Now, I chose both to show you both sides of the views on these things, but the majority in there, as you're going to see, are all tearing this guy apart. But at the end of the day, no guy should settle. No guy should have a gal that settles for him. Otherwise, it's just not going to be a very good relationship. Okay? And he doesn't need to go to therapy to work on his insecurities. He does need to obviously work on himself, but he doesn't need a professional therapist. That's a bit over the top there. But anyhow, guys, the point of the story is trust your gut. Listen to your gut. And remember, the majority of people out there aren't going to get it. And remember, the majority of people out there are in unhappy relationships, unhappy marriages, etc., etc. So it's best to just don't listen to the masses, listen to your gut. Your gut is your truth. And if your gut tells you something's wrong, listen to it. Otherwise, you'll live to regret it. How many stories I've done, people have lived to regret it. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking about this. Let me know. Do you think the guy was in the wrong? Do you think he was the a-hole? I do think he should have left a note for his friends. But as for her, I got no problem with him walking away. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.